Welcome back, everybody, to another podcast. It looks a little different because this one's sleeping.
We don't want to disturb them. They're being quiet.
Oh, they're being actually pretty quiet. Probably not now.
No. Now that we're recording, they're probably going to be like, woof, 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 woof.
Yeah, but we're trying to not rattle them up.
And we're also closer to this, so we don't have to talk as loudly.
That's true.
This time. So we can just be a nice, calmer
We'll see.
podcast.
We have some raging to do.
Yeah, so, I mean, we usually end up getting loud anyways. So if we're yelling, sorry, we'll try to tune down the...
Oh my god. So
Welcome to another podcast. Join us for some ASMR podcasting. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't expect ASMR out of us. We both hate it. Sorry, continue. Let's get on topic. What's our topic today?
So today we're talking about our end of senior year of college.
Yeah, ending college.
As you guys know, that's when COVID hit, was towards that time.
Yeah, and we talked a bit about like what college was like when we first started. We kind of touched a little bit like on our middle of college experience. I'm sure we have more stories and more stuff that we can tell about that, but we can do that in another podcast if you guys want to hear.
Yes. So
this is basically just how the year ended for us.
I guess.
What it was like winding down, being in senior year. So how did you feel going into senior year, knowing it was your senior year and after this you planned to be done?
I was excited, I guess, to move on because I've been in school my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited just to keep on moving because, you know, I don't like school. I hate school. I do really well in school, but I hate school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very excited, I guess, to get moving, to get going. And obviously that was, once like it was ran over by a bus because of COVID. You know, it was actually kind of funny because in journalism, I started to do pieces on COVID before COVID. Before anyone really thought it was a problem. And we had, like, people abroad. So I remember going to the abroad office and asking them what they thought. Like, are they going to be affected? And even the answers then were like, no, they're fine.
With you for that. They were basically like, it could be an issue, but we don't really think it's going to do anything. And then it was like a couple weeks later.
Literally like, a couple weeks later. It was like, oh, they're stranded. Oh, the country's shutting down.
Yeah. People were starting to, like, panic. I know, like, when... we already jumped right into like the end. We're just gonna like ease through the year.
Oh, I just that was, yeah, I don't know, to me that was a good transition, but what about for you?
Good transition. I don't even get a chance to talk.
No, not at all.
Well, that's okay because people don't care about what I have to say anyways. I don't know how I felt. I think I was excited about senior year, obviously because like we were almost done. This is where things like start to finish off. I was excited about the classes I was taking. I was finally getting like situated in again because like I talked about, it was hard being transfer and like grounding myself and like finding a place and getting comfortable. So I was like finally at that point where I was like kind of happy to be there, off and like doing things, that slight bit of independence, but knowing you're still like able to fall back with like home and everything. Yeah, I think I also had, like, mixed feelings, because, like, obviously, like, there's a bit of anxiety, because you're like, okay, this is the end, what comes after?
This is the real world.
Mm-hmm. But I was very excited for this graduation, because my last two didn't go the greatest for me. I know my high school graduation, it was kind of a bad day for me. I was just, like... not having a good day. I was super stressed out, super anxious. That was a time in my life where I was not in a good headspace at all.
But also, for that graduation, they stress you out.
It was wicked stressful. Basically, there was no rehearsals at the actual place, so you didn't know where you were going. It's like, they try to be very structured, but it's all chaos.
They run you through security, too, and then you're going all these back ways, and they're like, now you're gonna sit over here, and you're like...
And it's, like, wicked hot out, and you're standing out in, like, the pavement, because our graduation... was at the Verizon Center. I guess now it's the SNHU Arena now that they bought it out. So it was a very big venue in like the city of Manchester because we went to a very big high school. And so everybody's waiting outside. People are like nearly passing out because it's so hot and sweaty, and they wouldn't just let people just go in right away and get seated and situated. And there's just like a lot of anxiety. And just like, I know like because of like all the college things I had going on, just like stress and whatever, I would try to to decorate my cap, but I ran out of time, so I was like trying to like rush to get it done that morning, and so I was like already rushed in because like I was super anxious that day because obviously everything was unknown because for obvious reasons that we just said. I tend to accidentally get a little bit like snippy, kind of like very easily irritated when I'm very anxious. So like I was already just like kind of not in a good mood. Other people I was with were not in a good mood, so it was just making it even worse. My family just like didn't want to be there.
Can I also just say graduations I find are just a lot of pointless speeches that I don't want to listen to because they're like talking, you're just like in your seat going,
it's like we have 800 names to get through. Can we just get this going?
Yeah, and the speeches like are just going and going and going. You're sitting there, you're kind of falling asleep, and you're like looking at your nails, and you're like, I wish I could be on my phone right now.
Yeah, some people would bring game systems. A couple of people brought like DS lights to like play in their seats.
I wish we could spice them up a little bit. They're like just so rigid and so boring.
We had the like the boring. Actually, the first they had like the school like teachers and everything walking out first, and they had them walking out to a bell toll, so it was just dong.
Yeah.
Dong, and it sounded like a funeral procession. That's what it felt like.
The school has like a chapel type thing, bell.
Yeah.
And that's what it was first when it was established. So it has meaning. Yeah. I felt like they were walking to their death.
Yeah, and then they kept going, and then it went into like the music for us, and there was like almost 800 of us, so it took a long time to fill in. It was a very long ceremony thing. But yeah, then after we were all like rushed out, then like there was no common meeting area. We just basically had to like find people in like the thousands of people that were there, like out on the front lawn, and it was just like chaos. Nobody knew where each other were. I wanted to find all my friends and like have like goodbyes and hugs and being like, oh yeah, this was a little bit of celebration. But my family was just like, can we go? And so they were just like, they didn't want to be there. They were like, okay, you're done, can we go? And I'm like, can't I stay? And I was only able to find you and Meg. And
there's a picture of all three of us together.
Yeah, that's like the only picture I got. And I wanted to see everybody, but my family was just like, can we go? And I knew like if I asked to like stay, they'd be like, oh. Yeah, my family doesn't like going places. It's awful going places with them. Sorry, family, but
we also
make me miserable.
We've spent quite a few graduations together because we got that graduation, we got our brother's graduation, which was at the same time. They sat right behind us.
I went through our high school graduation 3 times because I went through ours, my second brother's, and my third brother's, which was also both of our brothers and my cousin. So 3. It's long to sit through. But yeah, so that wasn't all that great. And then came my associate's graduation, and I was like, yes, this one's gonna be better. I was in a slightly better mood. I was a little bit more excited for it. I was like trying to like actually get myself to like smile more. Yeah. Be like, I worked really hard for this. I'm finally gonna get to move on, finally go to like the school I wanted. I'm gonna like try to be in a better mood. Like, I think I've said before, like when I was younger and like still even today, I've never been good about like showing like emotion. I've always kind of like bottled them up. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna like smile. I'm actually gonna try to show excitement and be like, try to be proud of myself and like happy about myself for once. And then it did kind of go well. It went pretty well. And then afterwards, I found my family after. Then my dad didn't even stick around after to say congratulations. He went out because their car, which they took because I came up earlier in my own car, their car like broke down on the way in. Like I think the gear shift like stopped working or something, so they were able to get there, but then they like almost backed into a tree when parking. So he went out to deal with that, and then we couldn't find him, and we're all just like stressed out, and like it was kind of my cousins were there though. My cousins and my aunts hung around, so there was at least a little bit of entertainment. But yeah, so that kind of like put a damper on things. So it was like, yes, this is gonna be a good one. This is my last one. I'm so excited for this. And then what happened?
COVID hit. Can I just? Oh my god, I don't like the way Keene handled it.
Didn't handle it.
I understand that no one knew how to handle it. It was a brand new situation. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So that I do understand. It was like untreaded water, and they just didn't know what was going on. So I can give them some leeway, of course. It was just like after the fact when things had started getting. So
it was a bunch of empty promises.
I guess we can start with
when things started
we were getting ready for spring break. And then they were warning us, and we had like a meeting with all the film people. I don't know what her teachers did. Well, I know she told me, I just forget.
Yeah, I don't
know. But there was a meeting with all the film teachers and students, and we had a talk, and we're like, just so you know, like spring break, it might be a little bit longer because of COVID or whatever. So we were supposed to go to Disney.
Yeah, we had a Disney trip planned.
We obviously didn't end up going because Disney closed. But so no one knew what was going on. So we go home for spring break, and then I believe they went spring break is longer.
So what happened with me, we didn't have a sit down with all of our teachers. I was in the psychology department, so obviously ours was much bigger than film. But basically I think they just like left it up to the teachers to talk to their students if they wanted to. And I remember my professor for my counseling class was like sitting down, because it was a small class, and she was like, so how's everybody like feeling about this? Are you guys all doing okay? Are you guys like super anxious or whatever? Because like tensions were starting to get like a little bit high.
There's just a lot of unknowns. Some people were just very uneasy.
Like, yeah, a lot of people were like uneasy and not sure like how to be like safe about it.
Yeah, and people had final projects like us, like Mary Alice. I was still trying to edit it in the computer labs, and some people for their films haven't even finished editing yet because spring break, you know, is a little bit earlier in the year, so some people still had more time to film. And
we were in a lucky situation. We were the first people done filming because we wanted to start early before other people.
The first person to film. We were the last, the first people to film, first people to finish filming. Because I really just like, I'm like, as soon as we come back from winter break, we are shooting.
Yeah, because we wanted all that extra time, and thank God we did, because we wouldn't have been able to like meet with people to get it filmed.
Because some people had problems with actors, because some actors were like in New York, and then with like restrictions, like some of them couldn't come down, and so it was a lot for film students. Some of us couldn't even really edit to our potential because we were using laptops at home, and we were planning on using the school stuff, because we would spend hours in the school lab while I was just putting things together. She was there to watch, and she was doing homework at the same time, but she was there when I needed opinions. So there's that. But anyways, they sent us to spring break.
And the teacher who was checking in with us, she was like, and they're saying, like, just so you guys know, like, we might not come back from spring break. Like, that's the potential in the air. Like, once you guys home, you might have to stay home. We don't know the situation yet. You might not come back. We hope you come back. But, like, ultimately, they decided they were going to, I think it started out, they were going to have a long, extended spring break.
So it did start off that way. And then we got an email saying, everyone's moving out. You have 2 hours to move out, and if you do not get all of your stuff out in that 2-hour time frame, we're gonna pack it up for you and store it somewhere else. 2 hours, that's all you have. And they're like, you need to sign up now, in and out. And they gave you like less than a week worth of dates.
Yeah, you basically had to choose a day and a time to come in. You had like a 1 or 2 hour window. You had to come in with your car, you had to check in, and then you had to like go in. I don't think people were wearing masks yet at this point.
No,
because
we weren't there yet.
It wasn't like mask time yet. This was basically like just try to like distance from each other, try not to touch too much, because they were trying to like. This is when masks weren't widely produced, so they were reserving them all for the healthcare workers. But yeah, it was very stressful. Like, I obviously was like super upset because I was like obviously really wanted to be in school, because I'm the type of person, I don't do well with homework and learning at home. I've always really, really struggled doing things at home, just because I don't have a place to like focus and like center myself. I can't get away. There's nowhere for me to go at home, especially with COVID closing things. I couldn't even like go to the town library to get away.
I was like, why can't they at least have seniors stay? There's not a lot of seniors, right? So
and most were off campus anyways.
So what if you made the seniors come live at the school and make us isolate? And like, you don't have to make the teachers come and teach. We could still do that on the computers, but we could have each other support.
Like, there was a lot, like all the film students and journalism students who needed the labs, all the science students who needed the labs. It's like everybody needed labs and nobody could access them. And I
was like, just the seniors. What if just the seniors? Like, you can say that we can't really hang out with each other, just be with your roommates, but at least we would have the support of each other and the resources we needed. But that was no. And I don't know if that would have been the correct answer at the time, because I really don't know how bad COVID would have been if we did that.
Yeah. Honestly, though, this was still in, like, the parts where it, like, wasn't that bad yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it started picking up until, like, the summer.
It's hard to say. Like,
I can't remember the exact timeline. It's all blending together.
I can't say for certain. But, so they were, okay, guys, we'll invite you back for graduation for alumni weekend in October. And we're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I love the fall. I'll be a lot more comfortable. I won't be sweating in the heat.
We were all excited to come back.
And especially in the fall for photos, because Keene's really pretty in the fall. And we're like, okay, we can get our photos then. And then they're like, and that's when you'll return your library books when you come in October.
They were like,
and all this
you'll come
stuff
for that. And then, like, on the chance that it's still pretty bad at that time, we're thinking of combining you with 2021 and walking with them. And then eventually they changed it. Never mind, we're canceling graduation.
Yeah, and then it went to, we'll have a virtual one. Send us all your information. Send us a photo of you, blah, blah, blah. And I did not send my information because I was really mad, and this was my form of protesting.
I did just because, like, I was like, is this all I'm going to get? And, like, a lot of people were disappointed with it because it was, like, nothing.
It was like scrolling credits.
That's all it was.
And
it's like, wow.
Who wants that?
I graduated.
They barely posted.
Like, not even, like, anybody, like, reading names or, like, having, like, you, like, go across the Zoom stage or anything. It was just...
Nothing, like, no, congrats, 2020, and, I mean, sure, they had banners on their campus that says, oh, we love you.
Yeah, banners that we couldn't even see.
But, you know, whatever, and it really made me upset. So when we got to October, I got an email from Keene, and they're like, we need that library book back. They're like, so, and I emailed them back, I was like, okay, you want it back, but you canceled it, so you better give me a packing slip, because I'm not paying, because this book was huge, and it would have cost me a lot of money to ship it back. And I was like, then you have to accommodate me, because I was coming back. I was going to return it then, but I'm not going to travel 2 hours up there to throw it into a book slot. So I had to give it to the Derry Public Library, and they shipped it back for me. But I remember just being really upset. Me and my mom were constantly posting and commenting on Keene stuff, trying to get them to do what's right.
A lot of people were commenting me like, hey, can you please do this for 2020? We're not happy. We're extremely disappointed. You've broken a lot of hearts. And they basically ignored everybody.
Yeah, and then they started having events. Again at the school. So like, oh, come make a stuffed animal bear. So when I saw those posts, I would comment on them. I'm like, oh, so you can do this, but you can't have our graduation? I'm not even saying my parents have to come to my graduation. I want to be clapped out. I want to be on the stage. Like, I paid for this. I need this because, to me, I feel like I still haven't graduated. Like, I haven't gotten that closure.
I feel like I'm in limbo. I don't feel like I graduated. Like, we, like, paid, like, $70 for, like, custom sashes through the school. And, like, I haven't worn any of my graduation gear. I haven't gotten to do any cap or gown. We haven't gotten the chance to do that. So now by the time we finally get to, like, take our pictures, it's going to be, like, a year. It's over a year now.
Yeah.
Like, almost, like, 2 years at this point, unless we, like, travel up at some point this summer.
And we were even more mad because other colleges and high schools were having safe graduations. And from the news, no COVID outbreaks happened from doing, because they had safe graduations.
Even my brother got one, and he graduated the same year as us. He was just 2 years below, so he did an associate's or a certificate program, and they got their graduation.
Yeah,
they had it outside. They had, like, in the summer social distance.
They had a safe graduation, so I was like, look, it's possible. Once again, I'm not saying my parents have to come, but if I could at least go.
If it was just the students
I'm
walking
okay with
across
that.
with no parents, I would actually be completely fine with that, because that's even fewer people. It's less crowded, which I liked anyways.
I would get
a little
COVID
less anxiety.
tested, everything.
Like, I would isolate, which, I mean, we were isolating basically the entire year.
Yeah, but we just got really mad because the kids. So this is when COVID is really bad. Like, it's raging and a lot of people are dying, and this is when it was really bad, but they decided to let everyone go back to school. And they're still holding events, and I don't want to wreck anybody else's college experience, but it's hard for you to feel happy for them when you couldn't get what you needed. They shoved us out of the school. We didn't get to say goodbye to anybody.
We didn't get any goodbyes.
We got no goodbyes.
Other people got to come back, like, to classes. We had to have them all through Zoom, and like I was saying earlier, that was extremely challenging for me.
They tested that on us, though.
It was an awful experience. We got kicked out. We didn't get any of our end of the year celebrations. We didn't get any things. whereas they did. So it's like, I'm really happy for 2021, and I know like they fully deserve it, but I can't just feel a little bit salty whenever I see all the congrats 2020 everywhere. And it's like 2020 was just
they threw us
forgotten.
out. They threw us out, and then as soon as they threw us out and got us money, they're like,
and
done.
Now they won't respond to anybody.
They sent us sunglasses and t-shirts.
And like a pin and like a medal or whatever that we would have gotten at graduation. I'm like, wow, the hole is filled.
Yeah, whoa, wow, thank you so much.
But it's like, you guys like...
We didn't get any like, congrats, you graduated posts. We never got anything. We just got a lot of, I'm so sorry. This is disappointing for everybody. Blah, blah, blah. But then 21, they were going to get their graduation. At first, no one was allowed to accept them. And I was like,
that's fine, that's fair.
Still made me a little salty, but I was like, okay. Yeah. And then they ended up being allowed to invite 2 guests.
Whereas they wouldn't even let us do anything.
And
they put in no effort for us.
We have gotten nothing. And they shut down our emails like immediately.
Yeah. We thought that they were going to send out warnings like, hey, just so you know, your school email is going to get like closed. Because I had a lot of documents and like files and papers that I did through my like Microsoft like account through the school, because I couldn't have a lot of saved files on the computer that I was using, and I didn't get to save any of them that were on there because they shut it down without telling us. So we still needed to access all of our tuition payments and our quick pays and our files, and they just shut down everything, and we couldn't access anything anymore.
We were legit like kicked out of the door. Like they booted us out, and we've been forgotten about. Like here we are watching. They're like, oh, they're like 21 deserves this, and I'm like, I think 2020 also deserves it, because our end of the year, we were the guinea pigs, so the only reason why you could still do Zoom is because you tested it out on us.
And it's also like all over like town stuff, like all over like billboards and like signs in people's yards. It's like, congrats 2020, but it's like, I don't remember, or 2021, I don't remember seeing any of those for us.
And I also have to say, like, we never got our film premiere for Mary Alice, and that was something I was really looking forward to. Teachers, students, family, friends, our actresses, our crew would have had that special moment.
And instead we had to have like an awkward Zoom thing.
An awkward Zoom thing, which, you know, at least it still got held, I guess.
Yeah,
but it was up to the individual people to whether or not they saw it.
It just lost that sentimental feeling of being able to sit there and like watch it on a big screen. Instead, you just like had to watch it through some links on the Facebook page that they made,
like on YouTube.
And it just kind of just lost its appeal, and it was really disappointing. I know it's not what anybody wanted.
No, but like 2021 at least got to go to school, have their celebrations and their events. I'm not saying it wasn't a hard year for them either.
They fully deserve it.
I just can't help but be upset and mad that they got everything that we couldn't have. But yet COVID
mad. We're not upset that they got it. We're just upset that they just
forgot about us. Because they still got all of that. They still got to go to school when COVID was the worst ever, at its peak. And they still got all these things, and we didn't. COVID was practically nothing when they kicked us out. We literally only had like a handful of cases. I remember like reading how many cases and go, why did they do this? There's literally no one who has COVID right now. The safest
would have been to keep everybody in their dorms and away from like the outside, because it's like a lot of people lost their housing too, because there was a lot of people, like there were students that were homeless or didn't have a safe place to go home to.
They did allow whoever didn't have a home or were from overseas were allowed to stay.
It was like very, very special circumstances.
They didn't like kick those people out and leave them homeless.
No.
So if you needed to stay there for whatever reason, you had to fill out these forms, and they separated you from everybody.
Yeah.
And you could only pick up meals at certain times. So.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating. And I know like I've wanted to go back to Keene for a while because it's a really pretty city and there's a lot that I wanted to explore. But obviously we never got the chance to, just because we were super busy, and then all of a sudden COVID came and knocked us all out, knocked everybody off their feet. And it's just like also at the point where I'm like, I just feel so salty at the school and upset, where it's like I don't want to go back and support them.
I don't, because we're like getting alumni stuff. They're like alumni, and I
like,
just like
say congrats. They're asking us for monetary donations in emails to help with like 2021 or whatever, and it's like, you did nothing for us.
Yeah, they're like, I was like, I want my refund back for graduation. And I was like, I just remember going back to work, 'cause I was actually at work, but yet we couldn't have a graduation, but I could work in retail. So people could buy shoes.
Well, the U.S. runs on capitalism, so there's no way they were going to give that up.
Yeah, so here I am at work upset, and my manager was like, you okay? You mad? I was like, I'm not.
mad.
I'm mad because I've been fighting with Keen because I don't get my graduation, but yet I can work here, or I could go work at this Halloween attraction that we worked at, but we can't get graduation.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like, I would have been fully happy if they were like, we're gonna postpone it to like later in the summer of like 2021, or like even if they were like, if they said we're gonna wait until things cool down. Like, I think if they were to have it this fall, I think things would be a lot safer with like all the vaccinations.
Re-put
and everything.
us for alumni weekend, because they originally were gonna have us graduate on alumni weekend
Last time.
Why can't we do it now too?
And now they're like, come join us for alumni weekend. It's like, but you're not gonna give us a graduation like you promised.
Why don't, like, fine, do a survey and see how many people would show up, see if it's worth your while.
Mm-hmm. But anytime anybody tries to contact them and raise up the issue, they're completely ignored or shut down.
Or they erase your comment. Because my mom still sometimes comments, what about 2020? They don't care. They don't.
I know there's some other schools
there was
like
people
this too.
sharing me and my mom's post about, you know, justice for 2020 or whatever, like, give them what they deserve. But, like, we're one of the only schools that never got one, because every other school pushed for them to have it.
Or at least the ones who did have online graduations, at least from what I heard, the people that did have those were at least happy with them. Like, I think they did a good job, or like said their names and like actually gave them like a solid like
I didn't even watch
a
a
picture
virtual
and
one.
a name.
I couldn't.
It was like just scrolling names. You had to like look and like catch yours, and like occasional like, I don't know if everybody's pictures got in there, if they all matched up with their names, but
yeah, because I didn't send anything, but because I just couldn't. I was like, I don't want to be part of any graduation.
I couldn't like bear to watch it. I skipped forward to try to find my name, and I was like, yeah, there I am.
Because like they still, whoever was giving speeches just recorded their speeches. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I wanted to walk across the stage. So I still don't feel like I've graduated.
I don't feel like I did.
I don't feel like my life has started because I haven't graduated.
That's
probably weird. Not everyone probably feels like that, but I feel stuck.
No, that's how I feel too, and I know it's been a year now, and I still don't feel like I'm done with college. I feel like I'm still in this weird limbo.
Yeah, like I feel like I didn't get my closure because Keen claps you in. I never got clapped out. So I feel like I'm stuck. Like I just feel stuck. Even though I'm not. Yes, I am technically graduated.
Graduations are just like a superficial thing. It's like, yeah, we know, but it's
I just never got that. I paid for it. I just never got that closure. Like I paid a lot of money to go to that school and they can't give me a graduation.
And I know this was like a really hard time for me as well, because I was finally just like starting to like figure myself out a little bit. I was making a lot of personal progress.
We were finally making friends.
And I finally figured out like how school counseling worked, and I was gonna go like to the counselors to like work on some stuff that I wanted to, and then like right as soon as that happened, COVID like came, and then so I couldn't really talk to anybody, and like the stuff that I wanted to like speak about, I'm like, I don't really know how to do this like over the internet, and I don't know how to like reach out for like a real one. And the main thing was it was free, which is like, so like that type of service when it's free you want to take advantage of. By the time I found out, it was like too late, and then it was like all the like I keep forgetting what I'm saying. The classes that I took, they didn't get to like get finished out properly. And it was basically just a lot of like, just, okay, read these chapters, just work on your final paper. We're not going to assign you anything else. You're not going to learn more. It was just
I still learned more, and I still had stuff to do. I still had to edit Mary Alice. And I've said this before, but I have cried over Mary Alice because my computer couldn't handle it. It was crashing. It wouldn't export. It wouldn't even edit some parts, so I thought I wasn't going to have a final project. So I remember just like sitting at my computer just like crying because it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let her come back to like use the lab. Like they wouldn't figure out anything.
My computer wouldn't handle it, and I was like, because a group chat was made with all the film students so we could ask each other questions. I sent in the error that and everyone's like, I've never seen that before, and I'm like, oh my God. And my computer, for something that's only 10 minutes, it took my computer 5 hours to export it, and I had to export it through Media Encoder, and my computer was overheating, and I was like, I don't know how many times I can do this, and I was working with proxies in 1080, so it's not like I was forcing my computer for 4K. But I remember crying, and then I still had to do like my final papers, and it's like I had papers, because me and Ashley had a pretty good schedule at school, and that schedule
was another thing, like,
was like wrecked, so I had a hard.
That was part of like my personal improvement. Like I had like schedules. I was like doing really well, and then everything was blown off.
Because we would do homework together, and then at like 10 o'clock at night, we would stop doing homework, watch a YouTube video here with each other. Like, we would go make sure we ate. Like,
I was eating a lot better at school because I was able, there was just like, it was easier because you could just go to the dining hall, pick out some things. I would get like balanced meals with like meat, veggies. I would have like fruit, lots of water. And I was eating more consistently, and then I got home and it was all wrecked. Like, I just ate whatever garbage we had at home.
I'm very good at doing my homework, but when I found that I was home, I had a harder time organizing myself.
Me too.
I don't know if it's because it was just everything at once, or because like I actually, because we had the lab for Mary Alice at a certain time, so like you could plan around that, and it
just all structure was lost. And it was like, it was hard to hear my Zoom because meetings because I live on a very busy road, so like I would just, all you'd hear is just a giant truck just going by.
My dogs would be barking. My whole family was home because of COVID, so that made it more difficult.
Everybody was home, so it made it harder to hear and concentrate. I get distracted very easily, so it was
just very upsetting, and I was looking forward to graduation because my teacher was like, we'll meet up, and say goodbyes, and we'll do like a little waffle party or something beforehand. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'd like to, to see everybody. And nope. No, that was a big nope.
No waffles for you. Waffles are banned.
And I want to say that a lot of people would still show up to graduation a year later.
Yeah. It would be harder since, like, a lot of people obviously are
spread
out through the country. Yeah, especially since they deleted everybody out of the system. So it's like, how now that you've deleted our school emails, like, I don't get why they couldn't last for like another like year or two just to get your things in order, and so you could actually like contact your teachers more easily. Because if you email teachers from a email that is not the school's, it's gonna go like right to their spam box, just because that's just how it works. So it's like, how are we supposed to contact people and access all that? Like, I feel like they should have waited, especially like if they were gonna have a big thing.
Well, I mean, my teachers have my phone number.
I was not close with any of my teachers like that, so I don't.
That's how, because for like journalism, when we're actually putting out content of like news, people were in charge of getting other people's things, so we all had each other's phone numbers. I
only had a couple other students' phone numbers, so maybe, like when we had questions on homework and like
the teacher would talk to us in a group chat, things like that. I'm connected with a few of them on Messenger. It was just to make things easier for everybody, contacting wise.
I didn't really have a lot of group projects.
But yeah, I don't know, guys. If you still want to help us get graduation, go contact Keen. But every time I see an alumni thing, it's like
a punch to the gut.
I stick up my middle finger metaphorically in my head and go, "You're never getting anything from me." And I go, "Oh, I do this all the time." I'm like, "Oh, I hope we actually make it. I hope we make it so bad." So then Keen comes back crawling to us and it's like, "Can you do this? Can you oh my gosh, they went to Keen. Can we promote that you went to Keen, or could you come and do a speech?" So then I can be like, "I'm sorry, did 2020 get a graduation?" They'll be like, "No, there's my answer. There's my answer."
I know, we probably sound like spoiled, entitled brats, so we didn't get what we want, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's a big moment of our lives. Cut us a break.
We paid
Everybody,
for it.
If somebody's upset about something not happening,
it's
and this
valid.
goes for anybody just being disappointed in something, let them be disappointed. They were excited for it. It was a big thing to them.
Everything you're feeling is valid.
We could have had it a lot worse. You are right. But it's just it's still really hard.
We just wanted that one thing. We're not even saying we needed to have guests. They could have, had us graduate by...
it would have been better without guests.
They could have had us graduate by degree, even.
Make the gathering smaller.
Film, you could be from blah, blah, blah. Psychology, you can be tomorrow at blah, blah, blah. I really did not care how they did it. I just wanted to walk across the stage with my diploma, wear my cap and gown, get my photos at Keen. Because we never got those
I
photos.
Still want to take graduation photos at Keen, under the gates and my gear and stuff, but it's I still just feel so salty.
I also feel not welcomed there anymore. If I were to step on Keen with my cap and gown, I feel I wouldn't be allowed to. And I know that's a weird feeling because Keen is an open public thing.
It's also hard because
I just don't feel welcome there anymore. I feel when I left, that was it and I'm not allowed back.
Yeah,
I know that's probably not true, but that's just how I feel.
They just didn't leave us on a good note.
And
also it's we don't want to complain too much in whatever right now in the season because we don't want to like detract from 2021 because they did deserve their graduation. They do deserve it. They don't deserve people being like they deserve their day without people being like, well, where's mine or where's this?
I wanted to comment that, but I withheld it because I go, it's not about me right now.
No, it is about them.
It's really difficult when you see them get something that you never could, and then it was even more upsetting when all of a sudden they lifted up the restrictions even more and saying you can invite 2 people. I like my Nana, for example, wanted to go to my graduation so bad, and her health was declining, but now she could never make it now, and that's also upsetting to me because she really wanted to go.
Yeah,
she could have probably could have made it last year, but she can't now. It's too late now. So that sucks because she was supporting me and I really wanted her to go. Yeah, now she won't ever be able to because I never had a graduation. Sometimes she goes, is your graduation still coming? And I have to go, no.
That's
they
so
canceled
sad.
it. She's like, I want to go. I'm like, yeah, me too. But yeah, we didn't get that. I just wanted that celebration. I mean, my mom did throw us our own film premiere. She did throw us like graduation, like, and cupcakes and stuff. And we appreciate that. It's still not what we want.
I mean,
that sounds awful too.
We did really appreciate it. It's just like
we just wanted our people. We wanted to be with our school people.
It's that feeling of togetherness.
It is, because everyone's there who's tried really hard. I even had like our special tassel, and Ashley got screwed with that too. I got a special tassel because of my GPA.
Yeah, like I went through so many issues. That school gave me so many issues with like my credits and transfers. Like I should have been like considered honors and gotten a gold tassel, but they wouldn't because of like
explain the tassel thing.
I don't even remember what it was.
It was about your credits.
It's something like
you had to have a certain amount of credits by the time you graduate to get this tassel.
Yeah, it was either that or like certain
classes
hours
didn't transfer.
Basically, the whole reason was because I was a transfer, because like I couldn't have met that as a transfer, even though I got like a 4.0 every single semester, except for one where I got 1B and it was like a 3.8. But other than that, I got like a 4.0 every semester, and they were like, sorry, you don't get one because of whatever.
Sent her one in the mail. They're like, you can celebrate this with yourself. And
she like sent an honoring one. It was really, really sweet. The person was like, oh, you do deserve it though, so I'll send it to you. So she sent like the golden tassel with like a little note that she made. It was all, I'm gonna tear up. It was so cute.
She's nice, but it just
it was a really nice gesture, but it was also like I don't feel like I deserve this.
Bittersweet. I'm like, you just said I didn't deserve it, but I do.
Yeah, it was like some weird like number thing. It was either like
I think it was your
credits. It was either like credits or like the type of classes or something where it's like technically I should have had it anyways. It was just some weird thing. Like I can't even remember.
I also find it weird that your minor is not on your degree.
Yeah, I know that's. How are we supposed to prove that we got a minor?
I know that's all standard. That hard work. I know that's standard, but it kind of sucks. Like I took a lot more classes than I had to. Like even when I had my double, because I'm a double major of like critical studies and production, that was like 4 extra classes, and not even to like. And then also all in the extra journalism classes and work and stress. It's not even on there.
I don't get why it's recognized. So what are you supposed to do to prove that you have that minor? Just be like, I have this minor, but there's no way to prove it unless they like pull up like your transcripts or whatever. And even then, you still can't. Also,
why do you have to pay for your transcripts?
Yeah, that's so dumb.
That should just be free.
Yeah. It's like, just give me some real copies that I can like prove. Like, it has to be like real ones. It can't be the copy. You have to go pay for it. But it's like, why? I spent thousands of dollars here, and you're telling me I have to keep paying just to get proof that I went here?
And this is not us saying don't go to Keene or anything, because Keene has the most fantastic teachers. They certainly know how to hire them. Because I loved all my teachers. Yeah, they are very knowledgeable. They were very great.
Yeah, I don't think there was any teacher that I had that I didn't like.
They were all very good and qualified, and they obviously know what they're doing when it comes to hiring. But I don't know, because the dean before the one we had was like embezzling money or some crap. I don't know the details.
That's the deal. I wasn't there for that.
But they paid her to leave, kind of thing, because they hated her. And then we get this one, and everyone was like treating her like she was a celebrity. and then she does us dirty. So I don't know what to think anymore. I'm not even saying she does us dirty because I think it's a community like voting thing.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not the only one that makes the decisions. It's like a board.
Yeah, so who knows? She could have been gun ho for about it and got vetoed. Like, I don't know. But yeah, what a rant. You know, I never said what my middle school and high school graduation was like.
Yeah, what were your...
For my middle school one...
Did you get... Oh yeah, I didn't talk about my middle school one, but you can.
For my middle school one, I got selected to do the speech.
Ooh, how?
So...
Was it because of your grades?
No, so in 8th grade, we were told... So a writing exercise was just to write a speech. Mm-hmm. And then I got mine back and was like, I think you should submit this.
I think they did something like that for
like
ours
you just
too.
submit a speech. So I submitted mine and going, oh, I'll never get picked. I got picked and I was like, so I did that. Is there a video of that? I don't know. I don't even have the speech anymore. So I got picked and I did that. You know, I wasn't... My high school and like middle school graduations, I don't really care for because I hated school and I was just like, here, you're graduating to go to more school. And I guess it's bittersweet because you're kind of sad that you're leaving, but you're really, really happy that you're leaving.
Yeah, and you're also kind of like excited from what's coming next, but also like
you're growing up and you don't want that responsibility, so you're like, oh man, how should I feel? Yeah. No idea.
Graduations are really confusing emotion-wise.
Yeah. I just really wanted this college one.
Me too.
I generally don't care about, you know, proms or because I never went to mine or graduations or I've never really cared for that. But this one I wanted, and I think it's because I paid for it and I did really well. I always had like a 3.8 or higher GPA every semester. Got 4-point GPAs quite a few times. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, and I was doing really well, and I felt content here, and I just really wanted. I finally found my footing in senior year, and that was taken from me. Because it's a lot for an introvert like me to really, like, push yourself. And I was pushing myself with film, and especially journalism. Journalism is way outside my comfort zone, and you really have to talk to strangers.
Yeah, I was finally, like, forcing myself to, like, participate in class and, like, answer questions and, like, ask questions, answer questions.
Teachers
That's not something I didn't do. I was starting to, like... kind of form connections, and it was like, oh, the progress is gone.
Yeah,
I worked on myself for nothing.
I guess we just wanted a little, but I guess it also hurts people saying 21 deserve this. I'm like, and you're saying we don't?
Yeah, it's like, I know that's not what they're trying to say, but it's just like
but it feels like that.
It's in like
it feels like they're saying we didn't deserve it because we didn't have to go through a pandemic like they did. And like we didn't have the same struggles as they did.
It's like they at least still got their stuff. Like our town high school. You okay?
He's hiccuping.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Our town high school decided to cancel their prom for safety. So a bunch of parents, like, went and decided to throw in themselves. So they, like, rented out a hall and, like, had them, like, buy tickets so the teens could still have their prom.
And I'm iffy about that. Like, yes, I understand, but also, like, it's also for safety. So I'm, like, iffy.
Yeah. I don't know if they wore masks or not. But it's, like, if it's done safely, it's okay. But it's, like, my reaction was, like, how come we couldn't have had people rally like that for our graduation?
Yeah. No one rallied like that for us.
No.
And at first I was like, oh, maybe we should. I was like, but I don't want to be the one that plans it. I don't want that responsibility. Because it's like, oh, we could just do it at a drive-in or something, you know? But I was like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to be in charge of all these people's monies and who's coming and who's not. I was like, I can't.
That's a lot. And we don't even know how to, like, contact everybody. Because we don't know every single person in our class.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's kind of... Woof.
Did you want to talk about your high school graduation?
Me?
Yeah. No, I'm talking to Winnie.
I thought you were. I was like, what? It was fine, I guess.
Obviously, it was the same graduation.
I don't
Obviously, different experiences.
I've said this multiple times. My memory is really bad. I can't tell you what I was thinking then. I remember being there, but I don't really remember the emotions attached to that. So I have a hard time with my past memories. If my brain, I guess, deems it not in the moment, it's out. It's out of my brain.
I never even got a cake for this graduation. Like, I got cake mix to make for, like, graduation stuff, and then we never made it.
Okay, you
and
had
so
mom,
it's still...
My mom got you cupcakes.
Yeah, I know.
We had some support. Our lovely people from
either.
Snap It's Vintage gave us little like gift certificates.
Yeah, I still need to redeem that. I want to go visit them.
You get gift certificates in honor of like graduating, and so we had some really sweet moments, and I will treasure that, and I will treasure what my mom did,
because some people were really supportive and like did whatever they could for us, and that you guys.
My mom made banners and stuff, but it's just still not it. That's not. I guess it made it a little bit more sad. Because while I really enjoyed it, I think it just really made me more sad. Because I wasn't
a little bit more.
Because I wasn't getting what I was ready for. I'm like,
I think the whole thing really is the closure aspect.
Yeah. And just seeing everybody.
Yeah.
I want my film premiere. I think that was even more upsetting to me. We worked so hard on Mary Alice through the years. We're building her. We're like, oh my god, we finally did a thing for her, and we couldn't even celebrate it.
At least we did do our own though, with like, it was just like a small one with like whoever could make it out of our cast and crew.
Yeah, we did do that.
And families. So we rented out a room for chunkies. We were safe about it.
Everyone was required to wear masks.
Yeah, and
we only sat people who came together, so no one was mixing, and hand sanitizer was supplied for every single table. And look, no one got COVID, so we were okay.
Yeah, look what happens when you're clean and safe and take precautions.
Well, even then, when we held it, COVID wasn't nearly what it became.
No, if it was like full blown like we wouldn't have had it. It was still in an okay enough state. Yeah, so we rented out Chunkies. The tickets were cheap. We made sure they were cheap so people would want to go, and it was free for cast and crew. You shouldn't have to pay
and people's meals were included. Even then, when we went, they're like, "Oh, you're not scheduled to have your thing today."
God, that was such a big
wanted to
mess.
Flip a table. Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I pulled up with my mom with our stuff, and then she comes over to my car because she saw I came in. She's like, "We're not booked," and I was like, "What?" That wasn't your exact words, obviously, but she was like, we went in there, went to check in, and they said that we're not in the schedule.
But my mom had emails saying, yeah, you're all set for this specific Chunkies for this specific time, so they just never put us in. So then they had to call somebody and like real quickly give us a room.
And they had to like scramble, and we were like, we have so much to set up
and they obviously did not have enough staff. And the room wasn't prepped for us, so he was trying to get they were nice, but they were trying to get...
Yeah, they did what they could.
Because, it's not their fault. It was whoever was the coordinator didn't put it on their schedule.
It was just a lot of panic on both ends.
Yeah, so then he was trying to set up, and we weren't where we wanted to be set up when people started coming in, and it was like a little like,
So like our friends would come in, and they'd be like, sorry guys, we're still like setting up because it's chaos.
Yeah, it was a lot. But, we did
up this year.
We did some things. We have some film festivals finally coming up. So these were supposed to be last year, obviously, but because of COVID, things didn't happen the way they should have.
Yeah, should we say where we're going in the fall?
In the fall, so what was supposed to be last year, but now this year, we got selected for New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival.
This is like the first thing I've been like, I've actually felt excited about.
And then it got postponed, and then I was like,
well, I'm just more excited for it now. Like, I was kind of, like, anticipating it was probably going to get postponed. But, like, I'm really excited for it now.
Even if we don't win anything, our film just getting shown is the win. Because people are watching it.
Yeah, it was selected. That's a huge win.
Yeah, because there's going to be, like, a separate award ceremony from what I've understood.
Yeah, we don't know how it's working yet. But, God, I'm just so excited to go out. Like, even now, I'm just, like, I really, like, crave a lot of restaurant food. Like, I want to try a lot of restaurants. But I'm like, I don't feel safe enough in restaurants yet.
It's a little scary right now for me.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to go, I want food, but I don't want to.
We all know people who are saying are fully vaccinated or not.
Yeah,
because you're like, I don't believe you, because only like 50% of New Hampshire is vaccinated. You want me to believe that you're all vaccinated? No. But
so I'm just waiting for another,
and we're still waiting for some to update us, because they were once again supposed to update us last year, but then they changed it to this year, so we haven't found out about 2 others yet. One we find out at the end of June. Another one we don't find out until July, I believe. So we're getting close.
Something like that. Sorry, I just yawned. I didn't get the sleep last night.
So we're getting close. We're getting there. I'm happy that we at least go to New Jersey if we don't get to go to any other ones.
It's fun going to that con. It's like a good size. It's like not super, super big, but there's still quite a bit there. And we haven't walked around that one yet.
And I have to say, we have grown already so much from Mary Alice. So I kind of wish we were able to go last year because we were still those people. But now we're different people because you change every day, really.
Yeah,
we're different people.
We're still the same people, but obviously it's like people change.
We have like We've grown. We know how to do things better. Like looking back at Mary Alice, like, oh, I know how we could have done this better. And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. It's about growth. Mm-hmm. But I really wish it would have happened last year, though. When I was still in the Mary Alice mindset. Because now that it's been well over a year since
we can pick at it a lot more easily.
But now that it's been well over a year, and even though we still have like our production binder, I will not be able to answer questions as easily. You know, because it's been well over a year and it's hard to remember.
You're gonna have to brush up. I'm gonna have to quiz you and do like sample questions.
But it's hard to remember things that I wanted to say, wanted to mention.
At least I'll be there and I won't be like in character the whole time, so I'll be able to help with answering questions too.
I'm definitely bringing the binder for some pointers, but I just wish it was me back then because it was still in my mind. It was still highly fresh in my mind, and it's not fresh anymore.
And now it's like here's the thing we made like a year ago. Like that's quite a bit of time.
It is a long time, but I guess when you remember COVID, it's really not because we were in shutdown.
No, this whole year was just a blur. Time didn't go by. Time isn't real. Time is an illusion.
But yeah, I guess wow, what a downer of a podcast.
Yeah, we hope that you can relate in some way. Well, actually, we hope you can't relate. We hope you had a graduation. We hope you are happy with your outcome.
Got everything you deserved.
Let us know your stories. What are you upset about? What's something that you lost? I guess that can be hard because you can lose events. A lot of people have lost a lot of people, which is horrendous.
We've been lucky in that situation.
I feel extremely blessed and lucky that I have not lost anybody from COVID.
We gotta say our families have been really safe about it, so we're very thankful that they believed in COVID and took it seriously because everyone in my family has, and
my family has too.
And I think that's why we've been okay for COVID wise.
Yeah, and almost everybody in my family's vaccinated now fully. I'm pretty sure my grandparents are. Everybody in my household is. Pretty sure everybody
pretty much all of my family
I'm pretty sure is vaccinated now. So. That's another thing I'm excited for, like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, do we actually get to like meet up with each other all again?
You know what's scary though? Black Friday. I really don't want it.
I always hate Black Friday.
Here's the thing: can we please still have Thanksgiving off? People don't need to shop on Thanksgiving. Like, you guys got to hang out with your family, but we couldn't because we had to go in at like whatever time and don't have time to celebrate.
No, at least like open early in the morning Friday. That's fine, whatever. But it's like just stay closed on Thanksgiving. There's no reason for people to go in like at night or at 3 a.m. or do this stupid opening. Like, stop letting money control your lives.
Walmart's closing on Thanksgiving.
Oh, good for Walmart.
Like, good for it makes me jealous because I feel like the mall's gonna have extended hours because they're gonna go like.
The mall tries to squeeze every penny it can.
But the mall doesn't help. The mall's awful. That can be a separate podcast. And of all the crap that the mall does, it's an awful place.
I'm sure other dudes do too.
It's an awful place. I gotta say. And I feel like because I know it's such an awful place, instead of giving us Thanksgiving, they're gonna be like, now it's all of Thanksgiving and all of Black Friday. They don't
Now they're gonna be like, now because COVID's magically over, it's gonna be longer.
We're like, we're gonna make it longer because you guys didn't get to shop last year, so this one's for you customers. Well, screw you customers.
Yeah, like I was lucky I think it was last year, or not last year because we didn't have Thanksgiving. The year before, when like Thanksgiving is a thing, we had to be in at like 4 p.m. that day. So like luckily my family has like a lunch type of meal at like 12 or 1, so I was able to eat, and then from our family gathering I got picked up by then and we went. They didn't even get to do anything.
We couldn't. Our Thanksgiving is usually later, so we didn't get it. But then we're working till 3 a.m. Don't get home till 4 a.m. and then we're back in at noon. I'm not saying because of crappy scheduling. That's just because we need everybody.
Well, it's crappy scheduling because of the mall scheduling.
Yeah. People, like, why? Like, explain to me, here's what you can say to the comments and me. Why do you go, I don't care about you actually going shopping on Black Friday, whatever.
No, Black Friday.
Thanksgiving. Why do you go and line up on Thanksgiving?
Why do you encourage that? Why do you encourage people not being able to have a day off with their families
or if you don't encourage it, tell us why down below. Is it because you also worked retail and you understand?
Or because you have some decent human compassion.
Or that,
I'm
because
calling you out if you shop on Thanksgiving.
I am,
Wait
because
a day.
you guys are the most horrible customers that come there.
Everyone's always so nasty and grumpy because it's always crowded. And it's like, well, you chose
They're
to
like,
come
I
here.
had to wait in line.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, and then you come in and you destroy your shoes. The mess is the worst mess I've ever seen because you guys throw things around. You guys are being impatient. Can I have this? Can I have that? Can I have that? And it's just a lot of people. You can't even move down the aisles. And like, do you realize that we have to clean up after you? Like, we can't go home until the store is clean.
So if we're off the schedule at 3 a.m., we're not going home until like 4:30. Was the case one year.
And we're 40 minutes away, by the way. Remember that. So
and a lot of people commute very far.
This is very aggressive, but like, let us down below. If you shop on Thanksgiving, I want a good freaking reason why. You bet. Like, I want a paragraph.
Hey, from the retail people's perspective, Black Friday isn't always the best deal. Sometimes they do it like a week before or leading up. Sometimes the deal's going the whole week already, and you think it's just those 2 days. Like, no,
you're wrong.
Just do your research.
You know what stores do? They make the deal worse so that they're getting more money because you think it's a good deal when it's not. Well, the week before, better deal because they want less people.
And now they know everybody's going to come in because those are the shopping holidays. That's when everybody thinks the deals are good.
It's not.
But they bump up the deals so you actually are paying more than you
For most of our holidays, our deal is the same the whole month. So just because you think it's a holiday, don't think you're getting a deal because you're not. You want to go afterwards or before if you want to get a good deal.
From the life of sales.
But yeah, you know what? This took a wide turn from what we were talking about originally. But in the comments below, tell me why you don't go shopping on Thanksgiving.
Comment whatever. Just tell us your thoughts. Chime into the conversation.
Yeah. We're just mad today. We're just
mad.
Oh, raging.
My head's hurting. I know I got a roast at home to go to.
If you want to hear about more Thanksgiving horror stories, you can let us know because I have plenty. And I know my mom has plenty and we can ask her to tell them.
I have some. If you want some more work horror stories, I know we've talked about this before. When I used to work at an amusement park, I have plenty of horror stories from that. We just haven't found a podcast to work that into.
But as always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and
thanks for watching.